Hare Krishna devotees, welcome to Shloka a Day. Today's Shloka is Shloka number 14 of chapter 9. Satatam kirtayanto mam
Satatam kirtayanto mam
yatantascha dridhavratah
yatantascha dridhavrataha
namasyantascha mam bhaktyah
namasyantascha mam bhaktya
nityayukta upasate.
nityayukta upasate.
Word for word meaning, translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Satatam,
Satatam,
always.
always.
Kirtayantaha,
Kirtayantaha,
chanting.
chanting.
Mam,
Mam,
about me.
about me.
Yatantaha,
Yatantaha,
fully endeavoring.
fully endeavoring.
Cha,
Cha,
also.
also.
Dridhavrataha,
Dridha vrataha,
with determination.
with determination.
Namasyantaha,
Namasyantaha,
offering obeisances.
offering obeisances.
Cha,
Cha,
and
and mam,
me,
me,
bhaktya,
bhaktya,
in devotion.
in devotion.
Nityayuktaha,
Nityayuktaha,
perpetually engaged.
perpetually engaged.
Upasate,
Upasate,
worship.
worship.
Translation, always chanting my glories,
Always chanting my glories,
endeavoring with great determination,
endeavoring with great determination,
bowing down before me.
bowing down before me.
These great souls
These great souls
perpetually worship me with devotion.
perpetually worship me with devotion.
So in continuation of yesterday's shloka, where the Lord is talking about the Kevala Bhaktas, this is the external aspect of devotion. Yesterday, we looked at the internal aspect of devotion, which is to always be thinking about the Lord. Here, the external aspect of devotion is to be engaged in services to please the Supreme Lord. So let us see what Prabhupada writes in the purport. So devotees perpetually worship Sri Krishna, and the external aspect today that we're looking at is service. The Mahatma cannot be manufactured by rubber stamping an ordinary man. His symptoms are described here. A Mahatma is always engaged in chanting the glories of the Supreme Lord Krishna, the personality of Godhead. He has no other business. He is always engaged in the glorification of the Lord. In other words, he is not an impersonalist. When the question of glorification is there, one has to glorify the Supreme Lord, praising his holy name, his external form, his transcendental qualities, and his uncommon pastimes. One has to glorify all these things. Therefore, a Mahatma is attached to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One who is attached to the impersonal feature of the Supreme Lord, the Brahma Jyotir, is not described as Mahatma in the Bhagavad Gita. So Srila Prabhupada emphatically states, the impersonalists also consider themselves to be great devotees. But Prabhupada is very appropriately pointing out that nowhere in the Bhagavad Gita has the Lord described the Mayavadis as Mahatmas. He has only described the personalists as Mahatmas. He is described in a different way in the next verse. The Mahatma is always engaged in in different activities of devotional service as described in the Srimad Bhagavatam, hearing and chanting about Vishnu, not a demigod or human being. So it is Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, not a demigod or a human being. That is devotion. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu and Smaranam, remembering him. These three items are the holy trinity of devotional service. This is what a devotee is always doing. The first three, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam. Such a Mahatma has firm determination to achieve at the ultimate end the association of the Supreme Lord in any one of the 5 transcendental rasas. The 5 transcendental rasas are Shantaras, Dasyaras, Sakhyaras, Vatsalyaras, and Madhuryaras. To achieve that success, he engages all activities, mental, bodily, and vocal, everything in the service of the Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna. That is called full Krishna consciousness. So one has to use one's body to serve the Lord. One has to use one's mind to serve the Lord. And one has to use one's speech to serve the Lord. Only if all of these 3 things are practiced, it's considered full Krishna consciousness. In devotional service, there are certain activities which are called determined, such as fasting on certain days, like the 11th day of the moon, Ekadashi, and on the appearance day of the Lord. All these rules and regulations are offered by the great acharyas for those who are actually interested in getting admission into the association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the transcendental world. So all of these things that we observe is also a purificatory process to help us begin that process of associating with the Supreme Lord. The Mahatmas, great souls, strictly observe all these rules and regulations, and therefore they are sure to achieve the desired result. As described in the 2nd verse of this chapter, not only is this devotional service easy, but it can be performed in a happy mood. One does not need to undergo any severe penance and austerity. He can live this life in devotional service guided by an expert spiritual master, and in any position, either as a householder or a sannyasi or a brahmachari, in any position and anywhere in the world, he can perform this devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and thus become actually Mahatma, a great soul. So Prabhupada has described in great detail what a pure devotee does. What are the symptoms and how do you understand who is a pure devotee? And why it is important for us to take the association of great Mahatmas, because association helps us elevate our consciousness and bring us also closer to the path of bhakti. That is the essence of this shloka, where the Lord is describing the glories of his pure devotees and what they are always doing, how they are always thinking about him, and how they are always eager to serve him in different ways.
If you like our videos, please subscribe to our channel and turn on the bell notification. If you'd like to join our classes every day, please check the details in the description section of this video. We look forward to serving you.